You're watching Newsday TV. Thanks for joining us. I'm Macy Eglund. A Long Island Catholic school teacher has been fired after posting pictures of him and his boyfriend kissing. Students and parents now rallying to help him get his job back. Sherry Einhorn reports from Rockville Center.
Love is love. Love is love. Love is love.
Catholic school children chanting "Love is love" loud enough to drown out the church bells outside St. Agnes in Rockville Center in support of their third-grade teacher who says he was fired because he's gay.
He's a great teacher, and I would really like him back.
Michael Califano says he was terminated from his position at the Maria Regina School after someone anonymously sent the bishop a social media picture of him kissing his boyfriend.
I'm still trying to wrap my head around it, actually. It's just surreal. I thought that we were stepping in the right direction in the Catholic Church, and I believe that we still are, but just some people are not getting the memo.
Parents say they're appalled at the decision and are urging the diocese to reinstate Califano immediately.
We accept everybody for who they are and what they are, and this is not what we teach our children. So this is not setting the example that we hope to set for them.
The diocese issued a statement saying, quote, "For privacy reasons, we do not comment publicly on personnel matters, but we can say that the school did not end Mr. Califano's employment over his sexuality."
It's 2023, almost 2024, and it's a disgrace that we even have to have this conversation right now. He's the best teacher.
Califano attended the school as a student. So did his father, also Michael Califano, a decorated Nassau police officer who was killed in the line of duty in 2011. Former classmates showed up to show their support.
For somebody who's called the parish and the school home for their whole lives, and to give so much more than was ever asked of him, and then to treat him this way, and it's heartbreaking.
Some parents here say their next move depends on what the diocese does next.
It's a hard line in the sand, but I'm willing to remove my son from this school if this decision isn't reversed.
In Rockville Center, I'm Sherry Einhorn for Newsday TV.
The former top aide to ex-Suffolk County DA Thomas Spota has been released from prison. Christopher McPartland has been transferred to a halfway house in Brooklyn 2 years into his 5-year sentence. The 58-year-old was convicted of conspiring to cover up the beating of a handcuffed prisoner by ex-Suffolk Police Chief James Burke. Times Square is getting ready for New Year's Eve, and so is the NYPD.
There will be thousands of uniformed police officers, including the 631 officers that graduated this morning from the police academy right here in the city.
There will be plainclothes officers, drones, and aviation units as well. If you're heading to Times Square for the celebrations, police are reminding everyone that backpacks, packages, and alcohol are all banned from the event. The LIRR is adding extra trains into the city, 12 heading in and 16 trains back to the island to get you home. Suffolk County Executive Steve Bellone is leaving office this weekend with an uncertain future. We sat down with him to take a look back at his tenure.
Oh, it's been quite a ride the last 12 years.
Steve Bellone looking back on his tenure as Suffolk County Executive. The Democrat has now hit his term limit.
We dealt with crises from the beginning and right through to the end.
Within his first year on the job, Superstorm Sandy, which left behind a trail of destruction. This as the county was dealing with a financial crisis.
You know, we had a $500 million accumulated deficit and a structural imbalance of $200 million and more that was growing.
He says by 2019, his team was able to turn the finances around without having to pierce the property tax cap.
We inherited a county that was in fiscal crisis, and we're turning over a county that is in the best fiscal condition it's ever been in.
There were other immediate challenges as well, like cleaning up corruption at the highest levels of law enforcement with the arrest of then Suffolk Police Chief James Burke and replacing Tom Spota as district attorney.
Tom Spota, you must resign from this office.
Navigating a pandemic and the economy shutting down, and then a cyber attack, which crippled the county's computer systems. But in the background, during the immediate crises, Bellone says he was focused on the future.
You have to be committed to working on things that matter over the long term and that you won't get to see the end.
Bellone says his team laid out the blueprint to solve water quality issues on Long Island.
We've implemented a groundbreaking septic improvement program, first of its kind in New York State.
And invested in the future with the Connect Long Island development plan to keep and attract Long Islanders who will help grow the economy.
We've invested significantly tens of millions of dollars in housing. We've invested in our downtowns and infrastructure.
Projects that he says will support future generations. As far as Bellone's future is concerned, the 54-year-old says he's not ruling anything out.
I'm obviously still interested in service, and I am concerned about where the region's going, frankly, where the country's going, you know. So we'll see.
Reporting for NewsdayTV, I'm Macy Eglund. You can read more about Steve Bellone on Newsday.com. Click Get More below the Newsday TV video box. A new sushi restaurant is opening up in Stony Brook, where Komu Sushi and Steakhouse used to be. Now, the new spot is called Hirosaki. It's run by the same manager of Kumo. Now, that restaurant was shut down after over 50 people got food poisoning there. Over 15 lawsuits were filed against Kumo. The John Coltrane home in Dix Hills is receiving funding for some upgrades. Suffolk County is awarding $1.7 million to the home of the saxophone player and his musician wife. That money will go toward restoring the home, building a recording studio, and more. All right, let's take a look at your Long Island forecast now. This afternoon ended up being gorgeous. Tonight, partly cloudy, around 38 degrees or so. For your Saturday, we do have some clouds hanging around in the sky, highs around 45 degrees. We'll take a look at New Year's Eve and your full 7-day forecast for you in just a few minutes.
Long Island weather is brought to you by Home Tax Saver, PTRC Incorporated. Feed Me is brought to you by PC Richard & Son.
Well, he's trading his commute to the city for a local distillery and tasting room. Scott Vogel takes us to East Northport in today's Feed Me TV.
Talks about farm to table, but what about distillery to bar? My favorite bar is local, all the patrons are local, and my vodka's from Sweden. Am I the only one who's bothered by this?
You press down?
Nope. So's this guy.
Personally never liked vodka before. I really enjoy making it now.
John Pollock spent 25 years commuting back and forth from the island to Wall Street.
Could you please paint us a picture of your life before?
Train, suit, early, no sleep.
And all the while, he dreamed of a different life. Until last fall, that is, when after years of planning and researching mentorship, he transformed a former Five and Dime in East Northport into Twisted Cow Distillery. Pollock was adamant that his be Long Island spirits, not just in name. The rye and wheat for his vodkas is grown at Foster Farm on the East End.
You can chew it. You can get some bread. They are edible, right?
The fruit in his Twisted Richter's cider pie comes from the celebrated apple orchard just up the road.
Why do we have to get everything from halfway across the country when it's right here?
So the process from start to finish takes how long?
For a vodka, roughly 5 weeks from the time we mill our grain to the time we bottle. Press it up with two hands with full grip, get it on the shelf, and right. Perfect, well done. We've now corked a bottle.
That's even easier than I thought.
Oh, look, messed up later, you have to take that one home.
Oh darn. I think it looks fine. You sure? I've seen bottles worse than this.
I can't sell that.
So we talked a lot about the distillery. Why did you want to have a bar, cocktail lounge, whatever this is?
The tasting room is a way to pay the bills as my spirits age.
I mean, it almost needs a new name because I'm used to vodka just being like, hand sanitizer basically. You could never go back to a name brand typical vodka after this, right?
That's my hope.
You're right. They're unique, one-of-a-kind spirits born of a one-of-a-kind local community.
People I've lived next to for 20 years have never seen because you get on the train at 5:30 in the morning, you get home at 8:30 at night, you don't see anyone.
And crafted by a one-of-a-kind guy who found the means and the metal to live his passion.
All of us suspect from time to time that we're living the wrong life. But here's the thing, some of us are actually doing something about it. And cheers to that.
For more on Twisted Cow, go to Newsday.com, click Get More below the Newsday TV video box. You're watching Newsday TV. I'm Macy Eglund. Thanks for joining us. Hope you have a great holiday weekend. We'll leave you with a look at your 7-day forecast.